back.
from way back. It's up to that point in the year.
So then as far as us having teachers do beginning, middle, and end of year, is that something we should move away from next year?
I
And
would
just have
move
them
away.
visit him?
I would move away from at least the middle of the year.
Okay,
The beginning of the year is nice because you can give it first day of school and just sort of get a baseline.
Okay.
End of year will show growth, which is
Okay.
nice. But you could use end of year or the unit 8
and would give you
cumulative
about the same?
About the same.
Okay.
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't sat down and done a
that's what we
one-to-one.
found, is that they're so similar, and so then
Yep.
is it
Okay.
is it redundant? to
It's
ask them
redundant,
to
I
do
think,
it
especially
in
because they would be
mid-year?
the same week, the cumulative,
Yeah.
with the exception of one grade that has 9 units.
Yeah.
You don't want to do, oh good, here's cumulative 1 through 8, here's the end of year.
Yeah.
Kids are going to be like, you're crazy, you've
So
asked me all of
It's a
these.
lot longer,
is
too.
the beginning of the year assessment, are all of the standards assessed on that beginning of the year assessment?
I don't know that it's every single standard. I have not sat down and done a full alignment, but I'm imagining it's definitely the major clusters. It may not be all of the supporting and the additional, because those are the major works of your grade level. That's where we want to focus. Which is why if you look at first grade, it's going to be number sense, addition, subtraction. That's the majority of that assessment, because those are the major works at that grade level. I pulled this up. Every few weeks, and we're overdue for one, we post news and updates for any changes we've made to the online platform. I mean, this one's 13 pages. So if there was something that was, because it is the first,
Yeah.
we had a beta test year and then the full rollout, anything that was not working well, either it's been fixed or when the schedule is, and I think this actually got fixed already. The reporting feature is delayed like I talked about, but I can show you what it will look like. E-presentation, this was something we ran into when I was in the kindergarten room. I used the smartboard, I used that teacher's, or one of the teacher's computers and smartboard. And for the touch piece, what I found was working well was if you go up to the Smart Ink button, it was a double fix. Teachers should always turn off the Smart Ink. And then if for some reason the touch isn't working, if the Smart Ink is off, you can just pick up the smartboard pen, and you can click and drag that way. And that worked just fine. And I even had teachers come up and try it to make sure that it wasn't just I was changing something, and that worked just fine. Sometimes it's just a sensitivity issue, especially depending on which version of the interactive whiteboard software you're using. There. Content updates, all of those things are there. The games, we talked about this. It's going to be about 200 games total. I thought the completion date was March. It's now February, so that's awesome. And again, those are HTML5, so kids don't have to have an app. It doesn't matter what type of device we're accessing them on. And those are 1 and 2 player games. Again, here are the additional differentiation activities that we talked about. Test banks through Unit 6 for all grade levels. This is just a nice piece kind of describing what's the difference between the assessments in the program and those assessments available in that assignments bank. And then we went through all the scoring pieces. This you may want to pass to your tech department. I didn't hear any complaints that would have directed me here today, but just in case, this is the whitelist. So all of the sites that your network should just green light through. Generally this is the one that causes a problem. A lot of times, anytime it says media, network administrators are like, nope, I don't want that. But that'll include games, the songs for kindergarten, the videos.
So if we hear that folks are having difficulty getting into those, we should first make sure that those are checked.
Right. And sometimes what districts will do too is they put different ones on, some websites can get full speed network access and some are lower priorities.
Yes.
So it may be allowed, but if they're getting that spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning, It may be because that's the lowest priority of your network. So it's
Oh, I
going to be
see.
allowed the least
And
amount of
if it-
bandwidth.
And if it needs a lot of bandwidth being media, it should be moved to the top, otherwise
Right.
everyone else below it will take it, right?
So
And so where was that list? That was under the notes or
it's
something,
page
right?
12 under news and updates.
The last page.
And then here are the interactive whiteboard recommendations. So we try to be as transparent as possible, and part of it is just every district's technology is set up differently. So as we all move into these awesome online resources, it's just how do we adjust to meet the needs of all districts? You know, we don't want to be always in the latest and greatest update because sometimes districts don't update until, you know, you can't re-image machines until the summer, things like that. So we try to stay ahead, but not so far ahead that it's going to require huge jumps. But yeah, that's always just menu, news, and updates. Other questions or things? We only have 10, 15 minutes left. I mean, I'm happy to stay longer, but I know you guys have stuff to do and buildings to attend to, things like that.
So as we're looking at how grade levels and classrooms are performing,
Mhm.
where should we focus our time? ACIs, unit checks?
I would say ACIs for sure. If we're not entering them every day, have some sort of way that you could see. Like when I was a coach and when I was a principal, the rule was I had to have access to those at all times. So because this did not exist when I was a principal, it was a clipboard next to your door that myself or the math coach could always come in and just see, because then I could also come in and help if I noticed you were 2 units behind. So we're not in that sort of drowning moment.
Yeah.
Because that's really, like Connie talked about, that true cycle of assessment and learning. I'm teaching, I should have a quick list at the end of every lesson. Got it? Who needs help? You know, think of it as an exit. It's really just an exit slip. It's that quick piece. And then I would also, because you guys do have carts and access to devices, especially 3rd, 4th grade, I'd like to see kids starting at least to go online for something. Even if it's just, I was in a district a couple months ago now, where they had 5 iPads per classroom. So math boxes became a digital station. Because it was a practice item, it wasn't something that you maybe not being as digitally literate as the other kids was going to impede my ability to see your progress, but it was still giving students each day or every couple of days those opportunities to be online. Because the more we can expose our kids to that, just the more successful they're going to be it online assessment, be it just kind of the way resources are changing. But ACIs for sure, and having teachers come up with a system, whether it's digital or print, a system for tracking those. Because that's what's going to make the most of that new schedule that's 3 to 4 lessons a week. Doesn't mean we only teach math 3 to 4 days a week. It means we have more time to do that more focused instruction based on what our numbers are telling us. But yeah, those would be my 2 big, ACIs and student online, at least in some way.
When you said you were a math coach at one point. What did you see in terms of lesson delivery, like different ways lessons were delivered? Did you see small groups?
Yes, I saw a lot of like math
versus-
workshop or something like that. I'm seeing more and more of that, especially as, you know, districts' budgets are being cut and things like that, where we're having to make the most of what we have. I'm also just seeing that now, given the shift in the standards and the importance of that dialogue piece, and kids to really work through all 4 stages of math conceptual development. what that small group allows is more kids to get more manipulative time, even in 4th, 5th, 6th grade, more time to talk in a small group, more time to then come back together and share. We've built in a bunch of components. Let's open up here. Here we go. To each lesson to tie to that or to enhance that. If you're doing that small group piece,
So did they deliver like a large group lesson and then break into small groups, or did they deliver the same lesson over and over again?
So it would start with the math message.
Yep.
So the mental math and fact fluency, daily 5 minutes, that's just your warm up.
Yep.
But that math message, that question that I'm going to throw out there, it's your point for productive struggle. It's where I want my kids to wrestle with it. I want you to have to think about it and think, not exactly sure, but I have an idea, or start to build that confidence in their own strategies. And then the whole group lesson would be that follow-up discussion. And then from there, you can decide, okay, I want to meet with you 3 and work on this, but you guys, we might be ready to jump right into the enrichment. And what we've done, I don't know why this is taking forever, so I'm just going to read it. What we've added in, I think I got kicked out. What's going on here? Did I get kicked out? What happened? Yes, I got kicked out. We've added in a component to every lesson that is a summarize feature. So that if we've been working in small groups, we can still, just like we would in like a reading workshop, we would come back together with that final share out. We've added in that summarize into every lesson. So that even if you're driving in small group.
Let's go to advanced.
Okay.
And proceed.
Proceed.
Okay. Oh, okay, that's what happened.
Yep, Mary, whoever, or is it Jesse?
Thank you. This happened while I was teaching. I was like, I can't fix this one. Like, can someone help me?
It's, yeah. Double checks to make sure you're a real person every couple hours.
Right. Okay, that explains why it wouldn't open images then. It's good, but.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. Not working very well. Was
The
always-
trouble when you have your machines save your passwords and then you come on to
Yes.
somewhere else in the district and they have no idea what you did.
Saying.
Well, my thing was always too, I can't type in front of adults. I can't type in front of an audience. You start and you're like, this is not what I was trying to say.
My fingers are never on the home key, the home row.
So the way this would work in more of that small group driven or workshop is this math message and this follow-up discussion. This would be how I'm kicking off my lesson. This would be my sort of mini lesson. Just keeping in mind that, if you're a Lucy Calkins or, F&P purist, a math mini lesson is not a 10-minute mini lesson the way it is in language arts. It might be a little longer, just because there's more components to a math mini lesson than, and Lucy would laugh at me for saying it that way, but so I would go through those activities, and that would be my sort of kickoff, but then the remaining activities, I would use those as small group instruction. Because in this lesson, for example, if I'm introducing division, I may have some kids who are already confident in the concepts of division and don't need that structure of, oh, I know what 12 divided by 4 is. But I have other kids who might need 12, 4 equal groups. We might need some more foundational work. So then what we can use are the activity cards to drive that. So even my small group, you notice these are all 10 to 15 minute actually labeled RTI. Because I could use that as, this is my group that I need to see every day. This is my group that